Ushuaia. It's a magic word among the bikers in South America. Everybody wanted to reach once there. Unfortunately, due to my crash, I booked a bus from Rio Gallegos. The bus journey is almost 12 hours. The bus is very comfortable. The seats are like a airplane, enough leg rooms and a clean toilet. I was a little sad in the bus because I'm not able to ride to Ushuaia. To reach Ushuaia, you have to do a border crossing into Chile and then again to Argentina. Even though Ushuaia belongs to Argentina, from Argentina I had to go through Chile. And there is only one small town called Rio Grande. And then there is a ferry crossing also. And there is a two customs and then ferry crossing. And there is no place to get food or anything. There was one place the bus stopped for some coffee shop. So better we bring some food and snacks. And the journey is like pretty much like other part of Argentina, except you can enjoy the scene. The ferry crossing is almost like a 15-20 minutes. The whole bus will be loaded into a ferry and then the journey will continue on the other end. My friend, Mr. Kathiravan from Malaysia, he is already in Ushuaia. He took a 10 days Antarctica ship trip and then came back to Ushuaia. So my plan is to go and stay with him for a few days and just go around the city Ushuaia and then return back by bus. So it's almost like a one full day trip. The bus starts at 8 a.m. and reaches Ushuaia by 8 p.m. And I stayed with the same Airbnb where Mr. Kathiravan was staying. I just enjoyed the trip, and it's because I was not suffering with the wind and cold and I don't need to ride. So it was a different type of travel. I enjoyed it. But close to the Ushuaia city, almost like a 50 kilometer before, the landscape has changed. The entire Patagonia and especially the season lot of wildflower and it's so beautiful. And we had to do the immigration 2 times. The bus company will coordinate the immigration process of entering into Chile and then exit to Chile again to Argentina. Like almost 2-3 hours before we reach the city of Rio Grande. This is the city. It's the biggest city between Rio Gallegos and Ushuaia. Most of this city, the economy is either shipping or port activity, or all this region there is a lot of exploration like fuel, gas. Once you are close to Ushuaia, almost 100 kilometers before, the landscape started changing, all mountain with the trees. These trees are not like the North American pine tree, but it's kind of similar quality or character. And then after, like just before an hour, the bus stopped at a tea shop, a coffee shop. Some people, there is nothing except there is only one coffee shop. And from there, the journey is mostly on mountainous, very scenic, very beautiful snow mountains. At around 8:30 p.m., I reached Ushuaia. It's a small, beautiful town surrounded with the mountain, and other side is the ocean or canal. And then this is Mr. Kathiravan. I reached his Airbnb house and I had a rest. The next day, we were exploring that where to get the ticket for a ferry ride, a day trip, and other things what we can do in the city because Kathiravan decided to leave to Argentina to continue his trip on next day. My plan was to explore Ushuaia one more day and then return back to Rio. And the temperature is pretty cold and as usual windy. It's almost like a 40 degrees and very cold. Kathiravan is a very seasoned, experienced biker. He's going around the world with his BMW R1200 GSA. He's nearly traveling around 2 years now. He's been to more than 50 plus countries and he's also planning to go to Africa next. So we had a lot of in common. I'm just following him and getting a lot of help from him. He has so much information, so much experience on traveling. Ushuaia is a very beautiful touristic town. Mainly like there is a boat and a lot of cruise operation to Antarctica, and its a main core economy is based on tourist. What I heard was it's not only summer, even winter, there is a lot of winter related activities. So this city is mainly tourism and it's pretty expensive city. So my plan was to take a 5 hour ferry towards the Antarctica and visit the Penguin and Sea Lion Islands. And also there is a famous national park. That's what the end of the road. So Ushuaia is considered to be the last city in the world, but actually Chile people don't agree with that because there is a 30-kilometer further, there is one small town belongs to Chile called Porto Williams. That's really a lost city, but the Porto Williams don't have a road connection. The only way of reaching that town is by ship, ferry, or plane. So that's why people consider Ushuaia is the last city. Tuesday morning, Mr. Kathiravan left early morning. I booked a taxi to go to the national park. It was really beautiful. The entrance per head is $40, and also the taxi fare is pretty expensive. Um, but it's part of the touristic place anyway. After visiting the national park and then reach the famous end of the road, everybody takes a picture. So I'm also took a picture at the national park and then the end of the road. From there I returned back to city and took the ferry to visit the Penguin Island and the lighthouse. These are all the very touristic place. And it took almost 5.5 hours for to and fro to cover this in a ferry. It's an interesting, unique experience. Park is a very famous national park. If it is a peak summer, it would have been very hectic, and there is a lot of camping site. This is the signboard where end of the world. The number three, it's a Ruta 3. They call it as a Highway 3 in Argentina. That's the end, and that's the end of the world. And if you walk further, like a half a kilometer, there is a small lookout where you can see the Chilean border pretty close. And I met one Indian student who is traveling by bike in Central and South America for last few years. His name is Bharat. He visited this place with his bike. And this park is really beautiful. There is a lot of hiking, camping um, facilities. I think if you come in the summer, it would have been really very nice. But still, there is a lot of touristic activities, a lot of tourists coming to this park. It's kind of like a must-see park there. Argentina made it like this is the end of the world, and it's kind of must-see. And yeah, the other side of the lake, yeah, small lake is a Chile. It's almost like end of Argentina and then beginning of Chile on the southern border. After the park visit, I returned to the city, to the port, where I took the ferry for the Antarctica, the island visits. After a wonderful experience, returned back to the city, and the next day my bus was in the very early morning, 3 a.m. to Rio. So I reached back to Rio.